Hey everybody out there, it's Alabama Deep and coming back at you. As you can tell, I'm still not feeling 100% better, but I'm feeling feeling a lot better than what I did. Just got a lot of congestion still in the chest from this COVID. It really kicked my butt, and I'm just trying to make it back. I'm still in the prednisone, taking it nice and slow. But I had a question for one of my viewers out there. Actually, I think I had two. They want to know if the watches, I just put out my latest video, a little step-by-step 1940s Tudor. Then I went on to the other Rolexes that I've assembled on the show, etc., etc. They want to know if they're real. Now, I went ahead and I gave him a reply to his comment that he left in one of the videos. I try to describe it the best I can, but I think saying it blah, 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 is a lot better than me trying to text and type it out. He may not understand it. So let me throw this out at you. I don't have a problem with it. So let me explain to you those watches that I made so far. I'm going to tell you each and every one by showing it to you in this video. And as I'm sitting here cooking dinner, what I do with my watches is a lot like cooking. Okay, you start out with something raw, something that you put together with other pieces, and then you get a full dinner at the end. And so cooking is no different than my watchmaking that I do on my videos and for myself and in my workshop and everything else I do. So we got hamburger here. It started off as just a hamburger. I could have turned it into lasagna. I could have turned it into beef stroganoff, a hamburger steak. But I'm doing hamburgers, so that's what they are now from a raw product. And it's really no different, like I said, than the watchmaking that I do. Walking down the hallway, and we're going to stop for a second because I want to show you something that I am incredibly proud of. Okay, first of all, we have things that I have from my first job. As a funeral service professional. I have everything here. I have my first suit. I got my first licenses up there. And then I even got a picture of me doing one of my first embalmings. Look at that. I'm so proud of myself. Then I'm coming over here and I'm looking at the letters that I have received. And then some funeral home memorabilia. We got a piece of fabric from JFK's funeral itself. Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty cool. So as we come back here to the watch room, let's go over each watch that was in that video, and I hope you can understand the explanation when I'm done. Okay, so here is my watch collection. Let's start out. We got all these up top, all these down here on the bottom. Come down here, we got a few little more. So coming over here, we have a whole bunch of watches of different makes and models that I have repaired over time, put them together, got them going along. I got some others that need batteries, but we'll forget about that for a minute. So let's go over the ones in the video. We're going to start out with my 1940s Tudor. That's the one I'm wearing right now. Is it real? Yes, it is a real Tudor. The movement's real, the dial's real, the hand's real. All that is completely real. It has a Denison 18 karat gold case that I have for it, but I'm not going to use it because it failed the water pressure test. I want a watch that I can wear that I know if I take a bath, go swimming, or whatever else, it's not going to be damaged. So I got an aftermarket case and I put it in there. It's still a real Tudor. The movement's legitimate, the dial's legitimate, the hand's legitimate, everything about that's legitimate. So even the crown we have on it is legitimate. But we have an aftermarket case. And I'm sorry, I'm going to consider that real because if they ever want to change it back to its original standing, it has the case to do it. No worse for the wear. Now let's come over here and let's just pick up the golden egg. Let's look at the golden egg. Is this a real Rolex? Everything on the outside you see is 100% real. Case is real, the dial's real, the crown's real. All that's good to go. Okay, so we do have this. It has a 1030 movement. Yes, I do have the 1030 movement. I am restoring that movement, and it will go in this watch when it is done. Thus, when it's done, it's going to be 100% genuine. Everything on the outside you see right now is real. Okay, so let's pick up another. Let's look at this. This is the Tudor Dragon Dial. And being a Rolex Dragon Dial, this is one that I put together. The dial's real. The movement now is real. The case is real. I'm waiting on a gold crown, and that's all it lacks. So this one is 100% genuine. The only thing not genuine are the hands on it. I will replace those later when the movement's ready, because obviously 1030 hands will not fit on this movement anyway, so I can't use them. So is it real? Yes, it's real. If you ever wanted to sell it, you could, because everything on it is Tudor. It's legitimate. There you go. You will have to explain to them, of course, that this is something that I made. and there's the parts that came from, and let them know so you don't just sell something to them thinking that Tudor themselves put this watch together, which, you know, they did not. I took parts, Tudor parts, put it together, so it's real. Okay, so we're going to come back over here. We're going to look at this one. Let's have a look at this beauty. This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Date. Is it real? Yes, this one is now 100% real. This has the correct movement in it. This has the correct bezel on it. This has the dial. This has the case. It is legitimate. Crown is legitimate. Yes, this is a real Rolex watch. It is. It has been restored. I restored it back to perfect working order. I love this little watch. I don't wear it all the time because I don't like the band. I'm trying to save up for a bracelet for it. And I'm sure in time I'll have a bracelet, but bracelets, two-tone, can be expensive, so we're kind of waiting on that just a little bit. Get in there, you. Come on, help me out here. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to move on to my Rolex Datejust. Okay, now this is where we get a little iffy, subscriber. This is a real dial. This has real 31, 35 parts in it. It has a real crown. Okay, so we have a movement that I put together and made from genuine Rolex parts, minus the main plate, which is cloned. Now, we can't say this is 100% real, but we can say that it is made from real Rolex parts. We can go ahead and say this is something that I had made. And really, you know, I don't sell these. I keep them because they're mine. But if you wanted to sell it, of course, you would want to be honest with the person that's buying it and let them know that, hey, watchmaker put this together, but he used Rolex parts. What are you willing to pay for it? It comes with box, papers. It comes with a stainless steel bezel. I mean, you know, the papers do match the watch. Not the serial number. The serial number was buffed off a long time ago, but the papers do match it as far as the reference number, which is 1 in a million. So in my opinion, every single one that I have put together here, on this shelf that I showed you, that I pointed out that I said was real, yes, they are completely real. They're real parts. They're put together. And in my defense, I know there's going to be some people out there that are going to say, oh, no, it's a fake because you put it together, not Rolex. Well, guess what? Every other watch out there that didn't go to Rolex for servicing but went to a watchmaker like Me Too service, they did the exact same thing. They took that watch apart, then they put it back together. Thus, there is no difference. If it's real Rolex parts, it's put together correctly, it's up to standards of Rolex, it is a Rolex. They won't be able to tell the difference if you send it off to servicing anyway, and I've already done that once before. I put together a 34mm Rolex Datejust, or I'm sorry, it was probably a perpetual date that I sent off to Rolex, and when I did, it came back with full service papers, increased the value of the watch. That took the place of the original papers that was lost, and now whoever has it is probably wearing it and loving it to death. But it was originally one of the pieces I put together that was sent off for servicing. It came back with their stamp of approval and their servicing on top of that and replacement parts in it from Rolex. Thus, it became a Rolex again. So people are trying to say that, oh, these people that are putting these together are not real Rolexes. Well, you just lost your battle because I just proved my point right there. I sent one off the Rolex servicing department. It came back with a passing grade with papers and everything from them from that service with new parts. So there you go. If they're parts from eBay that are real Rolex parts, they're put together correctly, no scratches on the screw heads, no scratches on the movement. If you can refine all that out, and even if you can't, you got 1 or 2 scratches, Rolex is just going to assume that maybe a shitty watchmaker took it apart, serviced it, put it back together. But as long as it's all real parts, it's put together properly, it's up to Rolex's standards, they're going to send it back to me as being a legitimate Rolex watch. Thus, you have lost your point if you're going that route. Now we're going to get up here at the top. Let's take a look at the top at what we have. Are these real? And the answer to that is no, they're not. These are AAA fashion watches. These are really just junk. These are the ones that Rolex goes after because they're stealing their name. They're creating the dial, creating the case, calling it a Rolex, selling it as a Rolex watch, but it is a fake and total, piece of crap. I mean, 2013 can work for a little while, but it's not the world's greatest. Then we have the one from my latest video. You notice, wait, where is that at? You're up here somewhere. Where are you? Oh, yeah, there you are. So here we are. We have the one I did in my latest video. You want to know if this one is real. I put in wording that none of these parts came off eBay. All of this is a fantasy piece, as I mentioned in my video. This is not a genuine Rolex watch. This has a replica dial, replica case, replica bracelet, but you know what? That's okay. It's still a very nice watch. Now, I'm not the one selling these, but whoever's selling these parts, if the federal government or Rolex ever wanted to sue them, get a hold of them, they'd have a pretty good case in course against it because they're selling the Rolex name to make money off of it that they shouldn't have. So, yeah, they're, breaking the law, but they don't live in the U.S. but ship to the U.S. So, it's like 1 in a million chance that you're ever going to get these people and press charges against them anyway. But no, this one is not real. As I had stated, none of these parts came from eBay. So, there you go. It's still a pretty nice darn watch. It's not junk. It's using high quality watch parts. Actually, so good that if they didn't use a Rolex name, they'd probably have a pretty good business selling these to people because they're really nice. They do a good job machining it, creating it, and everything else. I mean, I think it's a pretty nice watch. It's a lot better than these 2813 models up here. I will say that much 110%. Now, another point I want to point out to you right now in this video is I have mentioned that all these up here on the top are AAA fakes. These are the ones that I had mentioned about that the company producing these, if they were in the U.S., they'd be shut down by the federal government as soon as Rolex filed a claim against them because they are stealing the Rolex name. They are creating the dials, and quite shamefully so. They're creating the dials, creating the case. They're making a perfect copy, or trying to make a perfect copy of their product. That's trademark infringement. That won't go here in the U.S. Now, let's get to my channel, and let's see what I do. What I do is, I will take legitimate Rolex parts that I buy myself off of eBay. Now, unlike the ones that you see on the 8813, these are genuine Rolex parts. Everything on the outside, as I have stated, is original and real. And I did not make the dial. I did not make the case. I did not make the movement that will originally go back into these as soon as I have everything collected, repaired, and put together to form a complete and totally fully functioning Rolex watch, which is what this journey is for most people. Most people on this channel that watch this channel, a lot of them can't afford a real Rolex at $4,000 or $5,000 a pop. They can't afford it. So why not just do this a little bit at a time if you are interested in watchmaking and just create your own using Rolex parts. You save a ton of money doing it. There you go. And it's not trademark infringement because you didn't make the dial. You didn't put Rolex on there or their Coronet, the logo. You didn't create the case. You just restored a Rolex watch. And once you buy a product from a company, this now becomes yours. It's your property. You can do with it with whatever you want to do. Restore it, sell it, keep it, wear it. You want to put a fake movement in it, put a fake movement in it, wear it all day long. That's your right and what you can do here in the U.S. Just as long as you do not create the logo and the Rolex name yourself, you're fine. So I hope that kind of helps out a little bit on what you know, what's real and what's not. What I do is I restore vintage Rolex watches. I repair Rolex watches. This is my journey on what I do because this is what I enjoy. Now, will I wear a fake at this point in time? No, I will not. I don't care to wear fakes anymore because what I make is a lot better. So seeing the eBay parts that I buy and the little screenshots that I showed you, I think you have a better idea of all my watches with what I do with what I've explained. Ultimately, my whole goal for any watch that I create for myself is that they will be completely legitimate as time goes on and I have time to get the correct movements, install them, making it a fully functioning watch. Ultimately, again, I just build watches because it's fun to do. If I want to put a 2824 in there, it is a good temporary solution so I can start wearing it right then and there. Because I do enjoy the outside look of a Rolex watch. I do. And it's not about a status symbol. It's not trying to be about, I forget it. How do they call it? Flexing? No, it's not about flexing. I just like the way they look. I like the way they're created. I think they had a really good design that Hans came up with it being an oyster case. I mean, they are a superior watch, in my opinion, from case to dial to movement to any part of the watch itself, including the bracelet. So if I can start wearing it right then and there, and it's just the shell of the watch, that's perfectly fine. You know, it's still a Rolex watch because it's a Rolex case, Rolex dial. You know, you just have to be honest with people and go, yes, I made this. You probably seen my channel. Yes, most people know who I am. So they already know what's on the inside anyway. It's going to be a 2024 if it's something new, current video that I put out. If it's an older video, more than likely it does have the correct Rolex movement in it because I have saved up, bought the pieces, put it together, and installed it. Which I need to start putting that on my shows actually, but that didn't actually sell as well as me doing these Rolex mod builds. So that's why I don't ever really show me putting a movement on there and putting it together. It's because it just doesn't sell. People want to watch me put them together and wear them. I mean, that's what they like to see, so that's what I do. Now, it's a little boring for them if I just start working on a movement and put it together and everything, blah, 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 blah. A lot more editing time, the whole 9 yards. Come on, I got 3 jobs at work. So, we will get to the point of Rolex movements. That's something that is going to be coming up. But for right now, I think most people already know what I have is that eventually these will become fully original Rolex watches. It's a step by step to get there. Because when you start getting into the movement, then you're talking real high dollar. I mean, real high dollar. I get lucky with a lot of the cases I find at $300. But if you want to talk a Rolex 3135 movement, that's like 2, 3, 4 grand off of eBay. It's a lot simpler to throw a clone in it and just save up and buy the movement and then swap it out. And then later down the line, after I have had it serviced by Rolex and it comes back to me with the papers, I can then sell it if I want to, which is kind of the plan that I have for myself as a side hustle. After they've been serviced, they come back and they are original, then I'll start selling them. Just have stamp of approval from Rolex that I did a good job putting them together. And they're none the wiser to it because it's all original Rolex parts. And it's a watchmaking thing anyway. Anyone that has their Rolex serviced, it is going to be taken apart by them anyway and not by Rolex to put together. Thus, exactly what I do, except for my parts are coming from eBay. That's about it. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit further on what's real, what's not, and so forth. And I will also go ahead and just add in there about these replicas, the AAA fakes. After I had worn what I created, on my wrist, and it is a real case, it is a real dial, real crystal, real crown. It does feel completely different than these AAA replicas or even the clone replicas. It just feels different, okay? And I felt ashamed of myself wearing the $28, $13, $50 fashion watches. I felt ashamed. I have them sitting up on my shelf just because I'm collecting them at this point, but I'm not really ever going to wear one out in public because what I make is a lot better. And it's only better because it's original Rolex. And it does feel a lot better on the wrist than those $50 pieces of junk. And I know not everyone can be a watchmaker. Not everyone wants to be a watchmaker. They just want the name of a Rolex. So they'll go get a fashion watch for $50, $100 off of, DH Gates. You can find them all day long there for $60. Quality's not really there, but it does kind of look like one. Most people don't know what they look like anyway, so it can pass for a lot of people, and some others it won't. But for me, I'm not going to wear a replica anymore as far as a AAA fake. I don't even think I'd wear a clone at this point, because to me, real is real. Anything else is anything else. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. This is Alabama Deep. I will see y'all in the next video.